His letters from jail, and an Oz exclusive.
Is he admitted that he actually killed his daughters, not once, but twice.
His words, his details, his confession.
When he put his hands on her neck, he couldn't let go.
Coming up next.
Season 11 starts now.
Bella and Celeste. Now, in his series of prison letters, he's revealing shocking new details about his crimes for the first time. Today, I'm sitting down exclusively with the woman who received these letters from Watts, so we can understand why would a father do this. But first, take a look at the monstrous acts Chris Watts committed that landed him in prison for the rest of his life.
The story shocked the world. A devastated father pleading for the return of his pregnant wife and their two small daughters, who'd vanished after his wife returned from a weekend business trip. If you're out there, just come back. If somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. To the outside world and on social media, Chris and Cherlyn Watts appeared a picture-perfect couple, shown smiling together with their two young girls and happily anticipating the birth of their third. But just hours after his impassioned plea for their return, Chris Watts would confess to his father that he'd killed his pregnant wife after accusing her of strangling their two young daughters.
I freaked out. No, just rage.
But ultimately, Watts would be arrested and charged with killing 34-year-old Cherlyn, 4-year-old Bella, 3-year-old Cece, and his unborn child. Their bodies were found on the grounds of the petroleum plant where Watts worked. Cherlyn in a shallow grave, and the little girls placed inside oil and gas tanks. Chris Watts ultimately pleaded guilty to murdering his entire family.
The most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen.
Watts was sentenced to life in prison, leaving Shanann's devastated family and friends with so many questions. In search of answers, recently retired grandmother Cherlyn Cadle approached Watts to take part in a book she was writing about the case. Surprisingly, he agreed. The result? Startling new first-hand confessions Watts made to Cadle in letters and during visits she made to him in prison. Today, Cherlyn Cadle shares insights into what really turned Chris Watts from a seemingly devoted husband and father into a cruel, cold-blooded killer.
Cherlyn Cadle joins us now. She's the author of the new book, Letters from Christopher, The Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders. Cherlyn, you've never written a book before. You've never even reached out to a prisoner. No. Why Chris Watts?
I don't know, just seeing him the morning of, on the front porch when he was looking for his family and telling the TV cameras that they just vanished. I knew by watching him he was guilty. It was easy to see that he was. And I felt something. I felt called to write this story to help get in his mind enough to see why he would do something like that to his family.
In order to write the story, you have to get in touch with him. You have to gain his confidence. We're going to talk about a lot of these letters in a second, and I've read through them, and there are specific questions I have, but there are some horrific things that he admitted to you in conversations and in the letters. One of the things that struck me powerfully, as a father and his grandfather, is he admitted that he actually killed his daughters not once, but twice. Yes. What did he mean by that?
Well, the morning of, he went into his baby girls' rooms and took a pillow from their bed and smothered them. And then he went into his room with Shanann and lay down next to her. They argued a little, and he murdered her. So then he was wrapping her in the sheets, and both girls got up and saw him and started questioning what's wrong with Mommy, what happened to Mommy. Bella, the oldest one, was crying. She had obviously been traumatized. She had bruises above her eyes, and you could tell she'd been traumatized. And also, Cece was more kind of confused, but she was awake, the younger one. So they ran around the house, literally, and cried and was watching what was going on as he drugged Shanann down the stairs. He couldn't pick her up, or he tried to pick her up, but she was too heavy for him. They were in a two-story home, so he drug her down the stairs.
Oh my goodness.
Put her in the back of his pickup truck, and then proceeded to put each of the girls in the back seat with their little feet dangling over the seat on top of their mommy. And they rode an hour like that to the oil fields.
He drove them to their burial ground.
Yes. So
they trusted their father.
Oh, of course they did. You know, they loved him. You know, Bella's seen on cameras singing the song, "Daddy, You're My Hero." He was the one that was entrusted to take care of them. So
Chris told Cherlyn that his daughter Bella was the only one who put up a fight, saying, I'm quoting this, "I will hear her soft little voice for the rest of my life." She was saying, "Daddy, no. Daddy, no." I mean, you're a mom, a grandma. How hard is it to hear that even now? It's
very hard. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter myself, and I can't even imagine her skinning her knee. It hurts me. It's been difficult, at best. It's been very difficult.
He said lots of things to you, and I want to get into his mind, which is why I wanted to have you on.
Yes.
One issue is, how aware is he of what he did and currently doing? He apparently made overtures to his ability to take care, for example, of that 3-year-old granddaughter. Is that true?
Yes, he asked me if I was out of prison now, would you allow me to watch your grandchild? And he, by saying that, was trying to say he, you know, has remorse enough that he would never hurt anyone again. So And it's easy for me to say, absolutely not. I would never leave my grandchild. And Christopher, what are you thinking by asking that question?
What does it say about him that he even asked the question? Does he think he's trustworthy?
I think he does. He's narcissistic. Very much everything is about him. Through a lot of the confessions that he made to me, a lot of it has been about how badly he hurts and how badly it is for him, which seems very narcissistic to me.
Why does he say he did it? This is a man, I've been searching for clues that he could have even done this. I can't find any reason why any of us sitting here right now would have suspected he could possibly even do it.
Right. He was very much
The keeper of that eternal flame of the Holy Ghost.
Seemingly family man, good dad. Spent a lot of time with the girls, helped his wife around the house, helped her while she did her sales and that type of thing. So, you know, asking him, why wouldn't you just get a divorce? Because millions of people get divorces, so why wouldn't you just walk away if you had to be away from Shanann? Because he says the reason is, well, he'll go back and forth with blaming different things. You know, the mistress, the fact that he didn't pray for 3 months before this happened, that there's a darkness that was over him. He's even went as far as saying a demon was in him, which maybe that's true. If you can do something like that, it does seem a little evil, very evil, actually.
Yeah. Although evil is clearly, this is a definition of it, but I'm curious, I mean, does he blame his mistress, for example? Does he say it was her? If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have murdered my wife, unborn child, 2 beautiful daughters. Right. How does he excuse this in his mind?
I don't know, because that is exactly what he has said. If I had never met Nikki, this would never have happened, he says, which makes absolutely no sense to anyone at all. But he's very, you know, Christopher he's not outgoing at all. He's very closed off. I never saw emotions from him. I didn't see him laugh. I didn't see him cry. I didn't see him excited. He's very quiet. So, you know, he's been harder to read than some people because you get nothing. It's just like a blank.
Well, as I go through these letters, he's saying things to me in his writing, which I want to come to when we come back, because we're going to discuss the claims of demon possession. And we're also going to talk about the rumors of a gay affair, which have been raised. Cherlyn's revealing even more from her conversations with Chris Watts. We'll be right back.
Happened the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. I couldn't.
Nothing good in my life happened after 49.
Writes August 12th. When I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what was going to happen the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. I couldn't stop myself from what I knew would occur the next morning. I am so thankful the Lord has delivered me from whatever evil was tormenting me and my family. I just wish they were still here.
We're back with exclusive new details on the shocking case of Chris Watts, the Colorado father currently serving 5 life sentences for brutally killing his wife, unborn child, and 2 daughters. Over the past 6 months, he's opened up to a woman named Cherlyn Cadle about why he committed this horrific crime. Cherlyn's documented her letters, phone calls, and prison visits with Chris in a new book called Letters from Christopher, and she's joining us today. Chris told you that he may have been possessed by demons before these brutal and very betraying murders.
Yes.
How did that take place in his mind? How does he describe that?
Well, he says because he doesn't feel like it was really him that committed these murders, that he knew ahead of time that he was going to do it, but he couldn't do anything to stop it. He felt a darkness over him, and in fact, when he killed his family.
Why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously. Why are you not investing into one?
He said, especially Shanann, when he put his hands on her neck, he couldn't let go. It was like a force holding him with his hands on her neck. And looking at it, thinking he should pull his hands off, but couldn't.
Did he share that he could have gone on and killed others, that killing didn't really matter to him?
Oh, yeah. He said at that time, during that time, and all the way through up until after he left the oil field, that he could have killed anything that came in his path and felt justified doing it.
Felt justified.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to read. This is page 10 of one of the letters, and there's, this actually has neat handwriting. I don't know what that says about somebody, but
Yeah.
so he signs it up in Christ, signs his name.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has scripture. He quotes, Timothy, Peter. I mean, he's talking about, to you anyway, the way a spiritual person might talk. He says, God bless you at the end. And I'm still trying to put my head around. It seems like an apparently normal person, a man, committed the worst of all possible crimes. You can begin to appreciate why churches, the Catholic Church in particular, might believe in demon possession. Mm-hmm. Because it seems like something happened to him.
Yes, it does. I mean, I have no idea about demon possession. I'm not sure that darkness wasn't always in him.
Even though he never showed signs of it that we can tell.
Right, that we know. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever ask him if he tortured animals or did other things that, say, sociopaths, mass murderers, serial murderers?
Mm-hmm. I did, and he says no, that he had never done anything at all like that. But it was kind of interesting, too. Their dog, Dieter, didn't like him. I'm like, did the dog sense something, or was it because of the way he treated the dog? I don't know. Very different.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
In one letter to Cherlyn, Chris wrote, "The darkness inside of me had won. It was still in me, though. I felt like I could kill anything and be justified for doing it." Mm-hmm. You mentioned that he had that sentiment. Did you feel unsafe in his presence?
Well, I didn't, because there was always at least 3 guards close by. He was sat in a seat across a little table from me, and he was not allowed to move as far as get up or anything. He had to stay in that chair. And if he hadn't, they'd have been on him.
So after this horrific crime made headlines, a man came forward claiming he also had an affair with Chris Watts.
Yes.
This, for a lot of people, muddied the waters quite a bit. Did Chris have any thoughts on this? Did he admit it? Did he deny it?
Well, what's interesting is he didn't even know that he was accused of that until after he had already been sentenced and was in prison. He said he has no idea who the person is, and there was absolutely never a thought of him being gay or being in a gay relationship. So he kind of brushed it off because he said he doesn't know anything about it.
Did you believe him?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did.
Did you become proficient in your mind telling when he was lying and not?
I think so. I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose him with that, but I could kind of tell. When he was telling the truth, and I'm not kidding, his eyes would go dark when he would talk about the murders. And just dark. And it was very strange to me. And I asked him if anyone else had ever told him that since the murders, and he had been told that his eyes would go dark when he would talk about it.
Shanann's family has some very serious concerns with Cherlyn's book. Coming up, we're going to hear how they feel about these horrific new details from Chris Watts' crimes being made public.
Jeffrey Epstein's accusers, the side you haven't heard until now.
I walked into this room. It's a dimly lit room with a massage table. Jeffrey came in. He began to sexually abuse me.
That's coming up on Thursday. On the morning of August the 13th, 2018, Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shanann and their 2 young daughters, Bella and Cece. He pled guilty to multiple counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole. From prison, he began writing to author Cherlyn Cadle. In an excerpt from one letter, Chris admits, "I can say with a certainty that I always loved Shanann and always will, but there was always this lingering fear that I would do something wrong."
Those were the chilling words of convicted killer Chris Watts. That's from just one of the many letters he wrote to Cherlyn Cadle, who joins us exclusively today. So Cherlyn, I'm going to broach a sensitive topic.
Okay.
We reached out to Shanann's family for a response to the publication of Cherlyn's book, and they told us they had been led to believe the focus of the book would be about Christopher's journey to find redemption through Christ while in prison for his crimes. I'm quoting them. They now feel deceived that it's being marketed as a true crime story, and they say they're devastated. They went on to say Mr. Watts' crimes have been a tragic loss not only for them, but to those who knew and deeply loved their daughter and grandchildren. Ms. Cadle took advantage of Mr. Watts and willfully deceived the family in mourning over a very recent and tragic loss. You can read the Shanann family full statement on droz.com. So let me just ask you directly so you have a chance to defend yourself. Did you misrepresent the intentions of your book?
Absolutely not. When I first started writing the book, the word had gotten to Shanann's parents that I was writing a book. Their attorney called me, and I told them then we made a deal with each other, and the deal was because they wanted to know if I was going to share the money with the Ruzeks. And I said, well, made a deal with Christopher that there would be no money exchange between us. He can't have money anyway. And in exchange for that, I would write the story of his forgiveness and redemption in at least one chapter of the book. And I told him I could not be held to any specific thing. I said the book will be about, there will be his confession will be in there, and at that time it was the beginning of the book. So I didn't know what all I was in for yet. I had not even received the letter yet, talking about killing the girls twice. And so Christopher was never deceived. As you can see, he wrote all the letters, many, many letters to me. But I was also told by my attorney not to reach out to them. I wanted to tell them what he had told me, the more recent information about killing the girls twice. And my attorneys advised me just to leave it alone.
Shanann's family is also arguing that you promised to send them a copy of the book before it was seen widely, an advanced copy. Is that true?
No, it's not. I asked their attorneys if they would like to have a voice in the book. I was told no, that they would not. And I understood that. It was so soon after the crime. My heart hurts for those people. So I understand anger and upset, but I told him if she didn't want to have voice in the book, that I would not be letting her read the book before. And so that's the way we left it. They never got a hold of me again.
Do you feel that you've treated Shanann's family fairly in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. I've done nothing to hurt them. My book is not in any way bashing Shanann or the girls. My heart hurts for these people. I have nothing in the world against them in any way. And I just hope that if I've hurt them, that they will forgive me of that, because I didn't hurt them intentionally. I wanted the truth to be told to them so that maybe they can move forward with their lives.
Thank you for being with us. You can read more of Cherlyn's conversations and letters with Chris Watson in her new book, Letters from Christopher, The Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders. Now, coming up, Chris claims that if he'd never met his mistress, he wouldn't have committed these murders. But where is his ex-mistress, Nicole Kessinger, today? And are there signs that Chris would kill again if given the opportunity? Stay here.
He was a child predator who moved into my neighborhood. Any kind of abuse that you can think of.
Okay, so that is pretty much a synopsis of her first book, because she's written, in regards to her interactions with Christopher, she's written two. I have both of them. I actually just reread the first one again just because it's been a couple of years, and I like to, I'm just weird anyway. And the other one, the newer one, just dropped like a week ago, and I finished it. It was like, it was more or less like her series in because one of the book, or the first book, there's a chapter that she didn't add, and she went ahead and put it in this one, which I thought was really interesting. And she gives, like, at the end of the book, like a chapter that is like her theories and her kind of like where she stands on it from the experiences that she had with seeing him face to face, and seeing his eyes literally turn from, his pupils just go straight black, like when he talks about the murders, and and just in real time, Um, Wendy, you're just in time. Well, you, you're late, but I won't hold it against you. um, Not as late as Inky, but we won't hold it against her either. So, I guess that brings us around to why I'm talking about her. So I read the book, and for whatever reason, I was just kind of feeling like, oh well, maybe I could do a review and like do my own, like, not reaction to it, but kind of, just, I guess it would be a reaction, but quote the parts that I found interesting, give my own theories, and give my own opinion on it, blase swaze. But of course, I wouldn't do that, for one, because of copyright infringement, and for two, just out of respect. So I was like, okay, well, if I want to do that, I should probably reach out to her. So I did. And to be honest, I was not anticipating to even get a response. That's why I hadn't said anything about the book at all, because I didn't want to get ahead of myself and then not get the permission and then, leave you guys hanging, because that would have sucked. But she replied like really fast and was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for asking first, and you can use it." And I was ecstatic with that. I was doing somersaults and backflips, and then, we're kind of just making small talk back and forth, and one thing leads to another, and she agreed to come on my show and answer a few questions, and for a short period of time, or a brief little window on Wednesday evening. It'll be 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. And I am just like, I'm so thankful. I'm so like, I'm hair flip and cartwheels and backflip and somersault like 12, 11, 7 times. So I wanted to, before she comes up on Wednesday, I wanted to kind of let you guys know what's going on, who she is, and go ahead and like give you guys a couple of the experts from the book, so that it's like you're not completely out of the water. So I want to do this so that you guys can ask questions, and it's not like, oh well, I don't know anything about the book, I don't know anything about her, and you'll have all these questions after after she's on. So I figured it would be the best way to go about it, so that it's fair, is to give you guys a little bit of a overview on the book, her and my theories and opinions, kind of where I stand, give you an idea of where she stands, set the scene a little bit, and then if you guys have any questions that you're like set in stone, that that you want to ask now, if you put them in the chat, I have a list, that to write them down, and we'll get we'll as many as she's willing to answer, it, I'll ask them. I put together a couple of little videos. These are like a little bit of compilation of quotes from her book, and things that they like sparked my my spidey senses to want to go look up certain things in the discovery. So it'll kind of jump around, because y'all know how I am, and I put the video together the same way I do my deep diving and my thought process, so it's all over the place. Sorry. But yeah, as like, just as it kind of sparked a thought, I went to the page in the discovery, and there's a couple little notes, but there's no sound in the most of the video. I think there's one little snippet of like maybe body cam or whatever, but other than that, like, it's just screenshots, and I'm going to read them to you guys, and I'm going to like give you my take on them after I read it, and kind of go from there. And then we should be ready to go for Wednesday. There's nothing you have to do. It'll be free. It'll be open, like no members or whatever. It'll just be here, and it's it'll still be up. Like, if you don't catch it live, I'll have the chat replay up so that you can see it later on if you're not here live. Like, but if you have any questions now, or want me to, stop at any point, I'm actively looking at chat. I got it up on my TV so that I don't have to worry about going back and forth on the tabs on the computer. But I'm not in any rush or whatever tonight, so if you guys want me to slow down on something or read something again, um, just voice it in the chat. I don't mind at all. You're not bothering me, and I'm not gonna bite your head off. So I just want you guys to get a little bit of a feel of where she stands after she's talked to Chris, and really she's talked to his family and stuff, and she, where she stands, because she kind of left that out of it the first book and kept it more just about the facts and what's, and the police reports and what Christopher said. And this one is a little more on the side of her feelings and her thoughts, but she's very clear and expressive that it's just her opinion, her thoughts, and and she is did it in a very respectful way, you know and I really enjoyed the book, and I highly recommend you go get it. It's available on Amazon. It's called The Many Faces of Christopher Watts, Truth and Theories. I think I paid like $7 for it on. I got it on Kindle, and I read it in like I don't even want to tell y'all. Anyways, so I'm gonna cue this up real quick. The first one. Okay, so the vibe of this video is going to be snippets of the letters from Christopher, which I did not quote. I just took, things that stood out to me, and I numbered them, and then kind of like went on my own little deep dive of certain things that he said. And then also you'll see the difference whenever it's quotes from the book, and well, I guess they're all from the book, but to two different books. So and I didn't want to like give him, I wasn't gonna give him any more than a little snippet of it, because like his whole, you'll see, like he does not come off remorseful, and he just rubs me the wrong way, like in a way that is just like ungodly, which is very convenient because all of a sudden he's very godly, and that just makes me want to puke because it's so insincere. It just screams like I have nothing else to do, and I really want to protect my image, because at this point I'm already God's gift to women after I've done this horrendous thing. I've got fan mail out the wazoo of women just throwing themselves at me. I don't know what is wrong with, and I got daddy issues. Old person question. So books from Kindle are an ebook. Yes. Yes, that is correct. Can the book be the first one, the letters from Christopher, I have on both the ebooks and audiobooks, but the second one is not available on audiobooks yet, but that doesn't mean it won't be eventually, because it was the same way the last one that got released, and after I think it was out for a few months, they added the audiobook to it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the same way, once you buy one, you have the other one. You don't have to buy both. But it's available for the first one, but the second one is it's not available yet. It's available Kindle. But they're both only like 250 pages each, which is like nothing for me. But I think the first one is even cheaper than the second one. They're both under $10 a piece. I know that for sure. Okay. And I have it on my phone. The second part of your question, Wendy. It doesn't have to be a computer reads book too. Yeah, as long as you download the Amazon Kindle app, you can read it on whatever device. I read it on my phone, and I have it on my iPad as well. And you just sign into your Amazon account, and it syncs right up. And it has this little digital bookshelf and shows all the books you purchased, and they don't go anywhere. Like as long as you have it in your digital library forever. It's really neat. You can bookmark, save pages, and quotations and stuff. It's really, really, really awesome sauce. Stop it. I can't deal with y'all. Okay, so this is one of the things that I don't know if you guys seen it, but a couple of weeks ago I did a stream and Wendy came up and Girl Ryan came up and we did some serious like deep diving and um I learned some things about the Freemasons that I didn't know. Um Girl Ryan pointed out some things to me about some videos and some things in the body cam that I had not seen before. And then we noticed some very weird, unsettling consistent discrepancies in the timestamps in the body cam footage specifically, like at 6 hours every time it was wrong, like exactly to the minute. And I can't wrap my head around that yet. I've went back and I've watched that and I've like tried to make it make sense, and here we are, because that's not the only time that happens in this case. And if you don't have a consistent timeline, then I don't understand how you convict somebody of 5 life sentences. Not to say that I want his sentence overturned, because please do not misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm just saying, Frederick, Colorado, CBI, DA Rourke, you need to get your ish together. You cannot be doing sloppy crap like this. Are you kidding me? Like, there's so many typos in the discovery that just you it's just they're not supposed to happen like that. It was treated very poorly. Like you could just see that they were wham bam, thank you, ma'am, trying to close it in a hurry. It's sloppy and it just I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Um, I've never seen a case open closed as fast as this. I mean, he was literally charged, sentenced, or indicted, charged, sentenced, every from start to finish, all in less than 6 months. I think it was right at 4 months, maybe 3.5. That is unheard of. With no, let me say this, forensic or physical evidence to corroborate anything in his confession. And as you'll see in these books that she writes, so the letters she gets from him, he confesses to her, and it's completely different. So there's the one that he gives in the police station when his dad's there. Then there's the one that he gives in Wisconsin after he's already sentenced in prison when the detectives come back and see him again. And then there's the one that he gives Miss Cadle, which is, and they're all different. So it's up to you to decide what's the truth and what's not, because I don't think right now, even knowing what I know, reading the books, watching everything that could be under the sun about this case, I don't think I'm any closer to the truth than I was the first day, because he is not going to tell the truth. He's not. It's just, trust me, he is not. It's just, he's a weasel. And I don't think it's because he's protecting NK. I did at one point, but at this point I don't. I really don't. I think somebody put the fear of God of him, literally, and he's been Bible thumping ever since. And learning what I learned about these people that I have here up on screen, anything's plausible. It is what it is. So, moving on. So there's no actual proof that NK's father is a Freemason, obviously, because, if they're, the whole point is the secrecy, so it's not strange that there's nothing that can be found paper trail wise. But trust me, I've looked. I can't find anything. But if you look into the family tree, which I have done, there are some hints that he is at least related to someone who is. Therefore, we concluded, and I say this because a lot of this was stemmed from some stuff that girl Ryan sent me and got, a picture that I don't necessarily know who he's standing in the picture with, but clearly that family member that he's standing with is all robed up. And I don't know, I don't know enough about it to know if he's just like if he's I don't know, but he's in the picture and he looks the part. So I digress. When I say we, that's why I say we, because a lot of stuff came from the book, came from the discovery, and came from stuff that we came about on panel. Another one that I've deep dove this case with, like, a lot is Ranger, and behind the scenes, and he's given me a lot of good theories and ideas. I've bounced off of him off of this case for a hot minute. Who else? Girl Ryan. And then all of you in the chat, so that's why I just don't want you to be confused. Like, I don't know. I got it from Fumble, where it's like, I don't want to say me or mine or I, and I do enough hair flipping, so I just wanted you to know, like, this is all a group effort. And Eddie, don't think if I make it to the big time that y'all ain't coming with me. Cause if y'all ain't coming with me, I'm not going. Cause I heard they were like weird over there. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so that Chris Watts meant to look into both NK and her father or stepfather, because her stepfather is just as mysterious, mystique. Like, honestly, I found less about him than I could find about her dad, and that speaks volumes to me. Like, why are these people? It's 2023. People leave a digital footprint, not the Kessingers. And if they did, it's been wiped or very, very, very suppressed. And listen, I have put some effort. Y'all know how I am. Listen to the crybabies over there. I'll deep dive into some ish. LOL. Anyway. I hate when people say that. Right, Wendy. Superstar. I'm smelling my armpits. Can you hear? Oh, I'm not taking feeble. I draw the line there. Draw the line. Okay, I wonder why he has never focused on the truck sightings. So, we've kind of dove into this a little bit. I'm going to get into it a little bit more because, again, it sparked my curiosity because the gray truck, that's not his work truck, is a little bit smaller, not the same color gray. And it was there seen by Betty, not our Betty, the neighbor Betty, not Nosy Nate, the neighbor on the other side, that she said she'd never seen it before. So most people would think that the truck sighting actually is the truck Betty mentioned in her doorstep interview with the officer. Gray truck, but smaller. But this truck was smaller, never in the area before. Okay, so plot twist on Thursday, August the 16th, 2018. So the murders happened on August the 13th. So this is 3 days after. Okay. On August the 13th, 2018, CBI received a call of a witness. Let's call this person witness number one, claiming to have had a suspicious observation concerning a white truck on Highway 52 at mile marker 3.25. The report states 3.5, but the written note states 3.25 at, and it's on a sticky note in the discovery right here. Okay. At 1:30 a.m. on Monday. Okay. Now, hold up, woed up, swole up. I don't even know how um I think because it's written in a fraction like that, it messed me up because I had to look up what that means because I'm like, what the heck is WCR 3.25? Like, and when I Googled it, it's like this. Okay, so this is where it would have been. It's a mile marker. Okay. Now why it was suspicious, I have so many questions for this person that called in because what made it suspicious enough to where you called the police, okay, first of all, like I would like to know that. Is that not like a thing for people to be on the mile, like the side of the road? Like I just thinking for myself, I don't think if I was, it would have to be something very significant or strange for me to drive past a car or truck, sorry, on the side of the highway and for me to feel the need to call and report it to police. I'm just saying. Unless they do it different in Colorado, but if it just, I wonder what's not on the freaking sticky note and why, ultimately, why it's got my goat right now, no pun intended, you kitty, why it was not followed up on. Okay, I digress. So let's keep it moving. So, no, ew. Let me see if I can think of it. Boom, chakalaka. So there, you can't see the. Uno momento, por favor. The question is, have you ever heard of Cherlyn Cadle? Raven. Okay. So now let me go. He pulled over to use the phone there because. Hold up, girl, Ryan. You know about this? Okay. Okay, so listen. Before we get too far ahead, let me just create a little bit of back story or give you a little bit to sink in. Okay, Monday morning at 1:30 would have been about 12 minutes before Shanann gets home from Arizona from her work trip at Thrive because she's seen on the doorbell camera at 1:48 getting dropped off by NK. Now I'm going to push play because this could all just be a coincidence. However, y'all know how I feel about coincidences, especially on this mother loving case. So, next. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let me make it big screen. Uno momento, por favor. Let me move this out of the way. And this. All right. Now, this is a strange place to pull over. Okay? I don't Now, this is even more interesting. It's a 6-minute drive from the Watts house. So 12 minutes before Shanann gets home, 6 minutes away from the house, who drives a white truck? And better yet, why was it not followed up with? Are you, yeah. Is Jamaica me crazy? I digress. Okay, big screen again, once again. So, the infamous 111-minute phone call. Okay. My theory is up there at the top in white. I'll cover that after we go through the facts, okay? This is from the Discovery, and this is her Verizon, her as an NK, as you can see. Her phone log, the talk activity, okay? So you see that sorry, I'm reading chat. They both, because both of them were asked about this and interviewed about this, and they both just seemingly have amnesia when it comes to this phone call. And it's not like it was weeks before, months before. It was literally hours, if I can even say plural, might have been an hour, maybe two, before allegedly he unalived his entire family. Okay? But, the plot thickens. I ain't seen nothing. I don't know what Saint is. You gotta quit that Polk County hooked on phonics. You're embarrassing me, cousin. You need to get a translator like Jill. Not my truck, remember? Well. Okay, so wait a second. I took screen. Okay, I know y'all. Some of y'all were here when I did it, but I was like super. Hey, I know Girl Ryan and Wendy was, but remember whenever we were watching Nate's footage, and I was like, wait a second, and I zoomed in and was like, look at all the still frame. Like he's got footage from that day, more than just one, because we noticed the white van and the red car, and ultimately I came to the conclusion that it's not motion activated at all. It's continuously recording. And why was it picked and choose what got sent to the NBI, or better yet, why the NBI pick and choose what the public got shown? Because I got so many questions, but I got a couple of them that we're going to talk about here. Because I think Nosy Nate is super freaking. It's awful funny. He just picks and chooses what to be nosy about. I'm just saying. So, anywho, the 111-minute phone call, okay, started at 9:28 p.m. So this would have been the night of the 12th because it's not at midnight yet, okay? So this is what Nate's camera captured, okay? At 9:37 p.m., a car pulled up into the Watts driveway. You see the headlights? Okay. At 9:45, a car is still on the Watts driveway with headlights on. Okay. I'm going to leave this up for a second so everybody can take their time. I don't know if you guys can see it real well. I tried to enhance it as much as I can, but it says 9:45, 9th hour, 45 minutes, and 46 seconds p.m. Okay. So at 10:52 p.m., This is in the discovery as well. According to Vivint, however you describe it, which is the company that Shanann and Chris used as for security, like their cameras and waze swaze, that stuff. Okay. According to Vivint logs, Watts left the house. Okay. 11:19 p.m. The 111-minute phone call ends. Okay, now we're going back to Nosy Nate's footage. 11:20 p.m. Watts' phone reconnects to his home router, the Wi-Fi. This is the exact time when a car triggers Nate's camera again. Okay? Did y'all hear me? Or better yet, do y'all see this? 11:43. Car leaving the Watts' driveway. Where was he going? Who was he going with? Did he take the girls with him? Were they home by themselves? What the... no memory of it? We'll get to that. Hi, Gritzel. Or Grizzle, sorry. Okay. So, 9:37, car pulls up. 9:45, car still in the driveway with headlights on. Was there somebody with Chris Watts in the house until he left at 10:52? It wouldn't be far-fetched to assume that, considering the headlights are constantly running. Usually people leave the car running and the headlights on if they are waiting on somebody, or if they run in and they know they're about to leave. Regardless, I got so many different theories I could go with it. Who was it? We know it wasn't Shanann. Okay. 10:52 p.m. Watts leaves the house. Together with somebody? Safe to assume? I mean, I don't think he was out there, and I know for a fact it wasn't his truck because his truck was being tracked by his job, GPS, geotags, which is in the discovery. Okay, moving on. At 11:19 p.m., phone call between Chris Watts and Nicole ends. The 111-minute phone call. So he's on the phone with her at 11:50 or 10:52. I'm sorry. What are they doing? Who is it? Was it? I've got some theories, but I'll save those for the end. Let's keep going. 11:20, car captured on surveillance again. 11:20, Watts' phone connects to his home router. 11:21, Watts reads a text message from Shanann that her flight is being delayed. He messaged her back, "Holy crap, this is gonna be late." They probably did not expect her flight to be delayed. It was weather, bad weather. It was not anticipated. Tell me that there's not some... I'm going to save it. Let's keep going. 11:30 p.m. Scheduled arrival time of Shanann's flight. So that's when she was supposed to be home. 11:43, unidentified vehicle leaves Watts' driveway. 1:25 a.m., Shanann landed. 1:30 a.m., 5 minutes later after Shanann lands at the airport, witness number 1 makes a suspicious observation of the white truck on the Highway 52 and 6 minutes away from the Watts house. 12 minutes before Shanann gets home. Shanann gets home 1:48 a.m. I digress. Oh, listen to this, Eddie. I think it's leave Jim alone. So what do you think about that, Eddie? Okay. So next we have this note. Again, references a white van sighting at Saratoga Trail 7 days prior to Sunday. Note, the white van was seen at Saratoga 1 day before the Watts came back home from North Carolina. This tip was never followed up on either. White van 2 times in area, gone 7 days prior to Sunday the 12th. Saw van in daylight hours, and then the now that sparked me to look into the whole Masonic Lodge theory, okay? Okay, listen to this plot twist. Get your mother freaking uh Eddie. Okay. So NK drops a in her one of her interviews, the one where her dad's like, "Don't lead," and calls Nick, the CBI by his first name. Okay, well, when she gets like closer to the end of the interview, she said when they're talking about what she did on Sunday, her dad is like, "Didn't Jim come into town?" And she says, "No, that was Monday." And they're like, "Who is Jim?" And then she says, "Oh, he's just my friend. We've been best buds for a long time. He's got a key to my apartment, blase swaze, any Hoosers. Leave Jim alone." And what did they do? They let them alone. They never followed up with him. If they did, it's not in the report. They did not do it in an official manner. Did not see if, hey, what were you doing? What was she doing? She said leave him alone, and they left him alone. Yeah, gotcha. Thank you so much. Oh, you're thanking me. Thank me so much. Hair flip. So, Estes Park, also home to the Estes Park Freemason Lodge. Girl, I'm not playing. Google this ish. Okay. Here's like some, like, this is not a joke. Ancient, free, and accepted. I don't even feel comfortable saying that word at this point in the game. Estes Park, number 183, first and third, Monday, 7 o'clock p.m. Now, plot twist again. Witness number 2 was never called back. Witness number 2 did not even make it in the report. It's literally in the freaking little scribbled notes that you have to figure out where they go and how. It's annoying. Witness number 2 and his call made it no further than being mentioned in a handwritten note, and a very sloppy one at that. Just saying. It's all sideways. Like, I have done a lot of cropping to make it look like this, but it's a freaking hot mess. Let's go back a little bit because I want to read it to y'all. Okay. So it says, older gentleman driving, looks like Watts but older. Sunday, Estes Park, white van, SUV type, asking questions about trail with map. Say what? Okay. Now, sighting at Estes Park. What you see here at the top is that lodge. Okay. Then the next thing is there is a cabin that you can stay in, like a camping thing at the Estes Park and Trail. That's what the next picture is. Then that white SUV is NK's Toyota 4Runner, which she has since sold conveniently enough. Then you got the note. Then you have the one of the sites that the Estes Park is known for. And then in the picture that you see over here, there's Chris and I think that is her dad, but it might be. I don't think that's Jim. I know what they both look like, but I put a picture of him older, but honestly, I don't remember who that is because I don't think that's her dad, but it might be. I think the reason I blacked it out is because of the whole Freemason thing. Because these are old, very old, like not old, like so could he have mistaken? I don't know if that's what they're talking about though with the white truck because truck and an SUV are two different things. And then it says van. Okay. So was it somebody driving her vehicle? And was it Jim? And does Jim look like an older version of Chris? Or was it her dad? I mean, at this point, Jim is the one in the picture. You can't see him. He's in the background. But he doesn't look as old as her dad. He's actually very rustic looking. I just found his social media literally last night. And I mean, I've been looking into this case for probably close to 2 years now and I've never been able to find him and I found him on, you guys will not believe it, but pictures and all on Instagram. And I've like refused to mess with Instagram because it's like more like my brother's generation thing and it was like like kind of the same way I feel about TikTok, but I finally crossed over to the dark side and I'll be darned if it was not right there. Or he was not right there. So I put a face with a name. He's a geologist. He went to college for the same thing Nicole did. They both are geologists. He also works for I think it's called Sunburst, but he's in the oil and petroleum industry as well. You don't say, huh? Right. Let's go. Well, Chris Watts is pretty gray for his age, anyways. Like, I just stating a fact. Like, they called him at work. Like the other, what do they call him? The other operators, they all called him the Silver Fox. And, eye roll. That's what my dad calls himself. But, I mean, Chris was only 30 in that picture where he's standing out in front of the house. Like, he's only 33, and he's pretty gray headed to be that. You know, some people it's just I guess genetic. Anywho's. So door from Saratoga to particular entrance of the Estes Park is 44 miles. Okay. An hour and 4 minutes. Located right inside this entrance, you will find uh, you mean Charlotte, or is there a different friend? Tinder. Stop. I don't get on that. Mm-mm. What's next? You gonna tell me to get on Grinder? I can't. I'm trying to get into heaven, ma'am. Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Okay. I tell you what, son. I tell you what. Why is the dispatcher and the detective or whoever's taking the notes not why are they not lining up? First of all, like, hello, this ain't the first time that the 911 or the dispatch, should I say, has got some weird way they write down the report that doesn't line up with the transcript. Like, what the frick are you dispatchers doing? And which one's true? The handwritten note or the dispatch the report? That whose job is it to decide which one's the effing truth, and why do they not line up? Oh, it irks my soul. Moving on. The medium's vision she had reported before the recovery of the bodies in the confession ties in perfectly with what we found and leads us back to Estes Park. Okay. In green, we have girl suffocated afterward, moved in truck, no intent to harm, strangled Shanann, no bloodshed. Okay, let me put this up. Sorry, y'all. Trigger warning, trigger warning. Sorry. Sorry. Driven to deep wooded section not far from home. No bloodshed. Lake near the woods, deep wooded, difficult to find. Each girl wrapped in blankets after suffocated, no, not far from home. Okay? The written note says, wishes to remain nameless, intuitive medium, also friends, 10 years, lupus support group, Facebook only. Dispatch 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. through triangle. I can't read it. No intent to harm. Someone being jealous. Strangled Shanann. Girl suffocated afterwards. Described feeling a no bloodshed. Driven to a deep wooded area not far from home. Lake near the woods. Deep wooded. Difficult to find. Too much time spent working. Thrive. Didn't sit well with Chris. Vision each girl wrapped in blankets after suffocating not far from home. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Wait. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Oh my god, you can hear me. No freaking way. So good to see you guys. It's been ages. So, what was the last thing you heard? Because I got a feeling I was just babbling to myself. Hey, Nick. Or Eddie, Phil, whoever you identify as today. I respect your pronouns, sir. It's going in and out. Okay, I'm going to leave and come back. Testing. 457 11:2. Okay, so you guys want me to go back to the last page, this one, before the medium? So, wait, are you kidding me? You couldn't hear me for that long? No, are you serious? Oh, okay, no way. Okay, sorry. You're serious? It was this far? Testing my patience. Oh, shut the front door. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start from here again. Okay, was this the last thing y'all seen, or was it before this? Or did y'all hear this? I'm long-winded, you know. I don't mind. I'll read it again. Okay, thank you so much. Party from MA, Massachusetts, I'd assume, called who claimed their location being in a wooded area near water. But it says in the handwritten note, which is gonna, why do they not line up? Like, what kind of police work is this? Ish. What? Y'all can't hear me again? Stop it. No way. Are you serious? Oh, I was about to say, Cricket, stop playing with my emotions. I'm gonna cry. Okay. So, this is the handwritten account of what the psychic says. Okay. It says, girl suffocated afterward, moved in truck, no intent to harm, strangled Shanann, no bloodshed, driven to deep wooded section not far from home, lake near woods, deep woods, difficult to find. Okay. Each girl wrapped in blankets after suffocated not far from home. Okay. Now, this medium also is a friend of Shanann's. They have been Facebook friends for 10 years at least at this point, and they are mutual. Like, they met each other in a lupus support group on Facebook. So I don't know if they ever met each other in real life, but they had been Facebook friends and exchanged messages back and forth for a while. So, but the dispatch wrote it up like it was an anonymous medium that called in and took the report, when it wasn't. It was her Shanann's friends, like, speaking of her and Shanann's conversation about this medium. And it's just very strange why it doesn't, what actually happened is not the way the report is written up. And it makes me freaking crazy. Like, who's just picking and choosing, like, how to, it's not even close to the truth. It's just, they just making it up as they go. Like, why? For what? Like, who is running the show? Okay. Moving on. I digress. Okay, this is one of the quotes that Chris, in the letters from Chris that he quotes, which, y'all, I'm telling you, it gets me livid. This son of my mama. Okay, I digress. Let's go. So, Psalm 44. I don't know how to, like. Okay, we're just gonna King James version, which is the one the Bible that Watts has in prison, physically, like the version he has. Okay. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Now, I don't have not a friggin' clue what that means, so I translated it into Something I can understand. It says you sold your people for nothing and made no profit on the sale. Huh. What? Who the? This So, on the evening of Sunday the 12th, there was activity between the hours of 9:30 p.m. and 11:45 p.m., which would lead you to believe either Watts left the home, leaving his children unattended, or Watts and the children left the home in an unidentified vehicle. During the 111-minute phone call, Watts returns home and the call ends, but the unidentified vehicle remains in the driveway for 23 minutes. This was the exact time Shanann's flight was delayed. So literally the exact minute Chris gets the text from Shanann saying flight delayed because of weather. Okay. At 1:30 a.m. on the 13th, witness number 1 is said to have made an observation of the suspicious white truck. This location is 6-minute drive from Saratoga Trail. Were the children taken out of the house prior to Shanann's arrival at 1:48? This is speculation, my theory. I'm asking these questions. This is why there's a question mark. Just saying. Was the suspicious white truck laying and waiting to be called upon to take Shanann away from the home through the back? Because you're not ever going to convince me, Edie, that they went out in that truck through the front. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. I think they went out the back. I believe it with my whole my whole trailer park. I put my whole trailer park on it. The location witness number 1 refers to is en route to Estes Park. Okay. Is it possible Shanann and the girls were held at a location at Estes Park? Was this why witness number 2 describes an older gentleman looking like Watts asking questions about a trail at Estes Park? Is it possible NK was driving the little gray SUV belonging to her relative who was driving her white truck? That possibly was seen 3 different occasions by 3 separate witnesses. Number 1, Monday the 13th, 1:30 a.m., 6 miles away from Saratoga. Go back, you little... Sorry. Number 2, Sunday the 5th, twice in the neighborhood. Sunday the 12th at Estes Park. Did witness number 2 see an individual making preparations for what was to happen later that night? Is it possible the children and Shanann may have been held and or unalived at Estes Park, since there was no forensic evidence whatsoever tying the crime to the house or Chris Watts' work truck? Okay. No intent to harm. Was the murder of the children even part of the plan? Or were they simply meant to be held somewhere? Watts' message to NK while watching Nate's footage shows him not concerned about the children at all. He could just be a heartless or did something go extremely south quick? I'll let you decide. Did NK message Watts about the unicorn cereal on Monday afternoon because the children were still alive and NK possibly bought supplies for the children to keep them entertained where they were held? This is just speculation, obviously, because the investigation got closed prematurely and we will never know. But I digress. Kinda. I don't digress, I'm lying. The babysitter, the 17-year-old babysitter, was babysitting the night he went to the Lazy Dog. Okay. Why was Chris asking Primrose which is their school, the private school they went to, if the girls were there? Did he think there is a change of plan and that he did not know about? Why was he calling the school to see if they were there, if he had unalived them? Make that make sense. I'll wait. Now we jump to the most recent book, okay? This is a quote from the book. Oh, y'all, this is where y'all better get y'all's popcorn and buckle up, Buttercup. I think she gave, this is Cherlyn Cadle, one of her theories, opinions, blase, okay? I think she gave Christopher devil's breath. She wanted to confuse and control him. He told me she was in the area the morning of the murders. I believe her vehicle was even parked outside for a while. I also feel the drink had something to do with giving him the courage to unalive his family. To me, that is a to commit murder. However, this drink takes the memory of a person, and he cannot accuse her because he does not definitively remember. Okay? Nicole met Christopher at Anadarko. However, she was employed with Tasman Geosciences, and they contracted her to Anadarko in April 2018. By this time, she and Christopher had become friends through the gym they were both going to. My belief is he referred her to Anadarko. Say, what? That's not hard to believe because she was Googling and Facebooking Shanann Watts in 2017. There's no way they had only known each other 6 weeks, but I digress. Was NK at Survey the morning of the murders? I do know he had planned on blowing up the field. Who gave him the idea? He had a can of gas in the back of his truck. This is the kind of idea that does belong to the monster. He will say, put that can in his truck. Through the neighbor's camera. I believe part of her mind control over Christopher was this sort of stuff. That's why, according to him, he was leaving Survey that morning when he received a text from NK telling him to listen to the lyrics of the song by Metallica, Battery. If you have not listened to that song, you will be shocked at how exact the song is to what happened. NK did not go to work the morning of August 13th. Why not? If she didn't know what was going on, why wouldn't she have just gone to work like any other day? That is a very good question. And the only thing that we know is that according to her time card, she clocked out at 3 p.m., but we don't know what time she got there or if she ever got there because there's 400, we'll get to that. There's like 400 cameras at Anadarko and there's no footage of anything. That is crazy. But we'll get to that. So, interview with Nicole Kessinger, interview agent Kevin Kovac, agent Tim Martinez, 81618, case number blah, blah, blah. Nicole Kessinger will be Q, agent Kevin Kovac will be Q1, agent Tim Martinez will be A, and Nicole. Okay, so the questions will be, and Q1 will be the CBI, and then the A1 is Nicole, and A2 will be her dad. Q1 is the Frederick police detective, and the Q2 is the CBI detective. So, I know you're tired and you're stressed. So this is Kovac, and we won't be here any longer than we have to. You've already had a conversation with people before. You came here on your own free will to talk to us. We picked you up at your request and brought you here. I got to pause right here, y'all. I've already done this, and I'm going to do this every time. What the freak French toast
is the popo picking up the ho-ho and giving her a ride back to the station floor. Are you freaking kidding me? Hello, you can't drive yourself in your truck? That's a little suspicious. It's almost like trying to avoid your vehicle being part of an investigation by not driving it. But still, I would tell her to. I don't know that if I was under investigation or even coming in as a witness at this point, play devil's advocate. If I say, "Hey, sure, can you come pick me up?" They'd probably be like, "No, bitch, get an Uber." What the? What? What the? I'm gonna move on. This is not involved. They're not involved in this investigation. Okay, so he's talking to her like this is a Kovac, and he's explaining to her, like almost trying to, you could just make your own assumption of it, but it comes off a little like he's convincing her that she should give permission to look at her phone instead of just saying, "Bitch, give me your motherfucking phone." Are you kidding me? Anyways, I digress. They're not involved in this investigation. He would just be a computer person. He would not be looking at any of this stuff. That would fall. He says a lot. That would fall to myself. So keep that in mind. He's not involved in this investigation. Thornton PD has nothing to do with this other than letting us use their facility and helping us with some electronic download. He's not going to look at your phone right now. He's going to put it on a disc and they're going to give it to me. Why are you reassuring her like, "Bitch, give me your motherfucking phone. You've already played too motherfucking much by deleting all the motherfucking shit in your motherfucking phone." Like, why are we coddling her? I can't. I fucking can't. I'm getting a little throat punchy. So now we have A1, which is Nicole's dad. Will the text reiterate what you've been? And then the media. This is Nicole interrupting. The media is just gonna, now her dad interrupts again, saying all along. So it's not like now she interrupts again. Well, they do. That's like the only thing too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah, I'll give it to him. What the? Jessica. Like, was it an option? Bitch, give me your motherfucking phone before I put these handcuffs on that ass. Are you fucking kidding me, my guy? Woo. Okay, so back to Kovac. And that's maybe going a little bit far. I usually won't tell people that, but because of your reservations, that's what I'm looking for. If I can disprove something he's told me by a phone records don't lie, okay? People do. You're motherfucking Skippy right. That's the... I can't believe this. Ugh, smacking myself in the forehead. You're doing it of your own free will, and I know you're tired, so if you want to let your dad read it to you, because apparently you're a little goo-goo baby bee, why is your dad even here? I digress. She says, he will, thank you. And then he says, yeah, that's a good idea. And then she says, can you fill it out before I sign it? Fuck, can you do anything for yourself? You want a fucking binky too in your blankie? What the fuck? You're not fucking 12, you weirdo. So, moving on. I'm so hungry. He says, the detective says, you should have told me. I've got some food. I got food in my car. She says, it's not staying down. It's coming up. Her dad says she hasn't been feeling good. Not because of any, just, she interrupts. Like, I got sick prior to this. And then her dad says, yeah, the gym. A whole thing happening. And then I think eventually all of the stress, it's just too much. Like, what are y'all tiptoeing around? Y'all are being weird about everything. I don't like it. Her dad says, yeah, I am with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations. But on the other side, the other end, I think if you do just that only, Exactly. That's the vibe I got, girl Ryan. Me too. Hold on. Let's keep going. Because we don't have it on tape, this is Kovac. We discussed prior to turning the tape on. Why the fuck are you discussing anything prior to the tape turning on? That's sus as freak. And you're pissing me off. Anyways. On Tuesday, which would have been the 14th, which is the next fucking day of after the murders, which would have been the 14th, you had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant. When people delete stuff off phones, usually we go, hold on a second. She interrupts, no, 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 no. It wasn't malicious at all. And then Kovac says, and that's what I want to, and then unintelligible, mumbles, it wasn't malicious at all, says Nicole. He says, no, I'm not saying it was malicious. She says, he lied to me. It just hurt. Like, I had never felt like he had lied to me before, and it was a big lie. Kovac says, right. Like I said, people lie, phone records don't. So this is twice he says that shit. They really help specifically establish dates and times. Nicole, Kovac, I think we have a very good grip on that in this case already, but there may be a time when we need to know something and then we would have it. And we don't want to lose it. And that's really what it is for us. If we lose information that later on we go, man, I wish we would have got that, and we may never even use this. We may never even look at it. But if we have it now, then we don't have to worry about losing it. So I appreciate you being cooperative and giving it to us. Okay. Nicole, I think I know why he lied to me. He lied to me because if I had known that he had a child on the way, I would have never wasted my time with him in the first place. Like, none of this would have ever even occurred if he would have just told me the truth. Kovac, if he unalived her, she's out of the picture. You're never gonna know if she was pregnant. If he can get away with murder, you're not gonna. I got divorced from my wife. Her dad. Wait, Kovac, you said, do you understand what I'm saying? If she's gone, Nicole says, but this, her dad says, don't lead. He says, hypothetically, her dad says, please don't lead on. He said, yeah, hypothetically, he says, okay, this is her dad. Okay. And then Kovac says, you understand where I'm going. If you didn't know, her dad says, right, but you're leading. He says, the Kovac says, okay. Her dad says, into questions that are nothing with your. Kovac interrupts him and says, if you didn't know though, her dad says, wait, Nick. He says, Kovac says, that she was there. Her dad says, did you hear what I said?
So how did he show up? Okay. What was he driving? So this is talking about the lazy dog day, y'all. No, he didn't pick me up. He came to my house. We drove my truck. Okay, so he gets to your house. You know what he was driving to get to your house? Nicole, off the top of my head, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he usually drives that Lexus, but don't always park it in my complex because the parking, there's no good spaces. So where you guys pick me up at, so she had them pick her up in the parking lot away from her apartment because that's how much she didn't even want them to see her truck. What the fuck? Oh, sorry. I let that one slip. Sorry. Anyways. So where you guys picked me up, there's lots of times he'll just park out there because there's room. Kovac. Okay, so that kind of works. So because there's just not a lot of room in my apartment complex. But off the top of my head, I don't know what he was driving. What kind of truck do you drive? I drive a Toyota 4Runner. Okay, so you guys take your 4Runner to the Lazy Dog. Yep. And you said they sat you in the crappy location, and where? Crosstalk. Nicole says where were you put inside the bar? She said when you walk in, you just hang a. What do you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., we talked a few times. So Sunday. Stop it, you little weasel. Okay. Her dad says, "Are you okay?" She says, "Yeah, I think so. I need to think. I can't even think." Kovac, take a couple of breaths and take a second. She says, "Sunday night, I don't even know. I don't think I was concerned about anything at that point." He says, "You guys, stop." He said, "You guys had a 111-minute phone conversation." No, you guys had a nice meal that the night before. You knew his wife would probably be coming home soon. And she says, "Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. Honestly, we talked about so much random stuff. It's so hard to pinpoint some of these things. I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation, though. We probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing," Kovac says, "anything." She says, "I do remember, though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking to Mark. So this is where I'm starting to remember, little bits and pieces." Kovac says, "Mm-hmm." She says, I don't remember crosstalk. Yeah, no, this was the phone conversation. I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you, but usually he talks to me when he's down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed, and I could hear the TV on, which I like. I mean, how many times could she say like? I don't even know what I did on Sunday during the day. I'm so tired. Let me just think about this. Danielle came over that day. Came over Friday. I hung out. Daniel? What? Okay. I hung out with him Saturday, and then Sunday. When did Jim come in? Says Kovac. She says Monday. He said, huh? She says Jim got there Monday. What did I do on Sunday? I'm drawing a blank. I'm really tired. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that? Kovac says, did you guys have any conversations on Saturday night during your meal? What he might have been doing on Sunday? She said, I'm sure we did. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank because I haven't slept. Kovac says, and if I say that he may have done something with his children, would that refresh
Oh, yes, says Nicole. Your memory? He went to a birthday party. He says, okay. She said, do you know whose house he was going to? She said, nope, but I know that they had a water balloon fight. He said, okay. He said he had one or his children did. Okay. He said he used to get really into it. He said he got like really interactive with his kids. He's like, so many adults don't really spend a lot of time with playing with their kids, but I always do. Her dad says, we went to the museum on what day? Saturday or Sunday? Oh, Kay's cute. We pat her on the head. Pat, pat. Look, little coos. As long as she's not doing the black magic on you, Nick, then she can say like all she wants. Okay. So then I clocked out at 3 o'clock is what my time card says. That's what I was showing Mark the other day, and I got home to go meet my buddy. One of my good friends was coming over to my house, and he actually has a key to my house. So he was actually there when I got there, and Kobeck says, who's that? She says, my friend Jim. And so Jim came over and I got home and he was there. He had like just walked in the door, and I remember like briefly after he got there, I checked my text. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I like glanced at my text, and Chris said something about like my family's not home. Yes. Girl Ryan. Did you give Mark Jim's information? No, I would really like to not like to involve him in this. He said, okay. She said, he does not know about this. He didn't, and he was not like, he doesn't know any of this is occurring. He said, okay. She said, like, I was literally trying to, he said, so he knows certainly through the media that something's occurred. She says, yeah. He's like out of town. Chris, he probably has no idea. Okay. He doesn't know. Okay. Who Chris is? Like, he's not, I do not know. So he's just a friend of yours. Yes. He does not need to be dragged into this. So coming to your apartment and doesn't know anything about Chris, does he know anything about Chris? No. Okay. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Her dad says, yeah, we've known Jim for years and years. Yeah, you're not. And she says, yeah, you're not dating him, are you? And she says, no, he's just a friend. I gave him a key to my house. So one, because I trust him and he's one of my best friends, and two, because if something, well, he just meets me there because I'll be like, hey, I'm getting off of work, and then I get stuck in traffic, and sometimes he ends up like sitting outside at my apartment waiting for me to get off. So I'm like, here's a key, and like my dog loves him and stuff. So no. Kovac says, okay. Then Nicole says, and he's not involved with it. So he's just a family friend. Nicole says, yes. She said, I don't even want him dragged. And then Kovac says, the only reason I ask, and she says, into this. So they're talking over each other. Okay. And then that's where the transcripts for that interview just suddenly end. So I feel like there was more discussed about Jim. We'll never get to know about it. But anyways, this is where it gets interesting. Okay. Nikki was involved, and listen, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know now. I'm going to butcher the hell out of these words, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and I'm going to try real hard, and if I don't do it, I'll try to do more gooder next time. So, Nikki was involved in a movement called Gaia Worship, Gaia, Gaia, the new pagan religion. You can find more on this at environmentology.com. Nicole had a business in Aurora, Colorado called Satya Consulting LLC at Aurora Avenue, Aurora, Colorado. This is a fact. Christopher said he knew nothing about this business. Follow me here. Satya is a company based on an Indian guru named Satya Narayana. He created the cult and claimed to be God. He supposedly performed miracles and claimed he was omnipresent, claimed he could heal, and of all these disasters that he could make happen because he was recruiting all these cult members. This became a trend across Colorado for the 20-30 somethings. Christopher knew enough to know it was very popular. Satya is a very important concept, and take heed. Awakening may not be contained. Suppose a practitioner is unprepared, or the Kundalini, I don't know how to say that. Y'all can see it. Awakens spontaneously. In that case, there can be an experience of total chaos due to changes in motivation, appearance, diet, weight, gain or loss, sensations in the crown of the head, and shifts to the personality that an unguided or unprepared person may not be able to handle. Okay, check this out, y'all. Okay. So, a spontaneous arousal of the Kundalini energy can happen as a result of intense energy work, drug use, sexual experiences, abuse or trauma, yoga practices, or life events, explains Dr. Grant. Yeah, I hear you. Shut the fuck up, Eddie. Ow, ow. Yeah, Eddie. I'm gonna beat you in the head with a ruler. Pop! Okay, recipe for devil's breath drink is 1/3 ounce of vodka, 1/3 ounce of limoncello, 1/6 ounce of Campari bitters. You can mix it with different things, tomato juice, fruit juice, etc. Christopher says all he can remember in that drink, the smoothie, was it was red. Devil's breath, urban legend, or the world's most scary drug? ? The results, a zombie-like state that left victims with no ability to control their actions, leaving them at risk of having their bank accounts emptied, homes robbed, organs stolen, or AR'd by a street criminal. But are these sensationalized stories part of an urban legend or a factual crime scene? Shut the fuck up. Bumble, shut it. Shut it. God. Okay.
This book is dedicated to uncovering the truth and seeking justice for Shannon, Bella, Cease, and Nico. Through the lens of a Bible scripture, Genesis 4:10 KJV, it addresses the chilling events that unfolded in the Christopher and Shannon Watts home. This tragic tale began in January 2019 when a monster, entered my life just 5 months after he committed the unthinkable act of wiping out his entire family. Motivated, in my opinion, and the opinion of the author of this book, by his mistress, who seemingly provided everything he believed he lacked. He succumbed to lust and an insatiable appetite for more. Christopher Watts has consistently claimed that something controlled him on that eerie morning of August 13, 2018. The narrative questions whether this is a genuine lack of memory or an attempt to shift blame. Even after 5 years, he maintains that parts of that morning remain unclear. The book explores the unsettling notion of how such a heinous act can be brushed off by the perpetrator as forgettable, prompting reflection on the haunting aftermath and the pursuit of justice.
This is the cover of the new book. Okay. This is the about section of the book. I'm not going to read it because I'm lazy and I don't feel like it. This is the publication date, which was November 17th, 2023. Screen reader supported on Kindle. 214 pages. It's ranked number Blase Swaze. Okay, so we're going to get into this way faster because. So this idea was not authored by Christopher. He did not have the capacity to think of all of this by himself. I can tell you, after spending the time that I did with him in hours of talking on the phone, this man did not come up with this by himself. We will probably never know who was the mastermind behind these ideas, but trust me, he was not the sole owner of them, nor the originator of them, says Cherlyn Cadle. All that good stuff, not going to say it. Okay, so this is my notes that I added in here because I'm just a weirdo and that's what I like to do. 1:48 a.m. Shanam comes home. 1:48, the Vivint logs front door opening. Okay, 1:48 a.m. motion sensor main floor detects movement, which would be Shanam walking by, in my opinion. 1:51 a.m. Shanann's phone shuts off. Did y'all hear me? Okay, let's keep going. 2 o'clock a.m. to 4:23 a.m. No movement on the main floor. Chris Watts in the basement all the time or not at home. That's up for you to decide. Okay. 4:23 a.m. Basement door opens. According to agents, basement motion sensor garage door. 5:46 a.m. Chris Watts left for work. 6:16 a.m. Nicole's phone pings in Frederick, which is where the Watts house is at. 9:10 a.m. Garage door alert from the inside. 12:10 a.m. doorbell alert. 12:17. Why did I put a.m.? This is p.m. Alerts. Received alert from Vivint, whatever. 12:42. Garage door alert. Yeah, I don't know why I put a.m. Clearly, I got back to p.m. I was a little loopy when I put this together. Anyways. Y'all know what I be trying to say. Y'all know what I be saying. So who's making all these triggers from inside the house? Why, Chris is clearly on the field. At the whatever. Why he's working. God, don't do that to me again. One day as a young boy, Christopher was playing outside. He was with a couple of boys and something happened that Christopher does not like to talk about. I'm not sure if it was another child or if it had to do with an animal. Whatever it was too shameful for him to talk about. Was this also what caused him to run to the bathroom and beg God for forgiveness? I don't know. And I'm sure the family isn't going to tell us either. It's damn sure not the dog. You're right, girl Ryan. I find it very odd that Christopher told me one time that he was not sure Shanann was in heaven because he didn't think she knew God. All I could say to that is wow. Oh, I can say a whole lot motherfucking more, but I won't. Beep! Oh. I got to get all this ratchetness out before she comes on the show because makes me big mad. Okay, so from the Discovery, there's this long thing that I'm not going to read because I can't see it anyway, but there's a point where Shanann's mom is telling Chris on the phone to check the knives, to check if there's any knives missing from the kitchen. I don't know why that stood out to me, but it's like, why? I don't like, that's very, anyways, let's go. Let's move on. I'm just noting it because what was really going on? Wowzers. Sorry, I'm my own sound effects. Christopher played many sports, baseball, football, and soccer. I think his father even coached some of his teams. However, according to Christopher, he didn't like sports. He was forced to play in them and also did it to please his father. I'm sure by most people's accounts, Christopher was a normal child. He looked normal and functioned normally, but I believe he was very abnormal. Christopher told me he met NK at the gym where he worked out when Shanann had neck surgery. Her parents stayed with them to help them with the children. They were living in the downstairs unfinished basement. That's where Christopher usually worked out. He joined a health club since he couldn't work out while they were there, living with them. I believe it was there in 2017 that he met NK. God bless America. Pregnancy announcement, April, May. Obviously concerns about debt, documents on desk, 3 months behind with payments for their mortgage, no homeowners association fees paid for 6 months, sent to the wrong address. Shanann took $10K out of Chris Watts' 401K to pay the mortgage and plans a trip to North Carolina for 6 weeks. And at this same time, literally the exact same time, Nicole starts working for Anadarko. On the evening of July 4th, 2017, Shanann, Christopher, and the girls went to the city fireworks. They were there as a family for an evening of fun and relaxation. He told me that NK came up and said hello, and he introduced her to Shanann. The 9 o'clock a.m. welfare check call. Okay. Monday, August 13th, 2018, at approximately 9 a.m., I took a call from a person identifying herself as Nicole Atkinson, requesting a well-being check on a friend. I transferred her call to Weld County Communications. Tuesday, August 14th and Wednesday, August 15th, I took calls between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m., transferring the calls to Detective Dave Baumhauer, Sergeant Bob, and Sergeant Ian Albert. Any notes will be attached. The following information was documented at the time it was gathered. The date of the report is not indicative of when the investigation occurred. Upon reviewing the report generated by police clerk Patricia Pat Conran on August the 29th of 2018, I noted she documented Nicole Atkinson called the Frederick Police Department directly and spoke with Pat about a well-being check on Shanann. Pat's report indicated Nicole's call came in around 9 o'clock on August the 13th. Upon reviewing other reports, specifically the report documenting Nicole's interview and also the dispatch notes, I found Pat's reported time of 9 o'clock inconsistent with others' reported time of approximately 1:30. I asked Pat about the details of her conversation with Nicole. She said it was shortly after arriving for work, and she arrived for work at 8 o'clock. When she received the call from Nicole requesting the wellness check, that Nicole, stated she was in front of her friend Shanann's house because she was unable to contact her. Pat said that at that point, she transferred Nicole directly to the Weld County Dispatch Center to generate a call for service. Call notes that indicates that occurred at 1:36 p.m. on August the 13th, 2018. In a follow-up discussion, Pat indicated she may be mistaken about the 9 o'clock call time. Nothing further. What's the fucking beep? Okay, so here we go. Monday, August the 13th. Phone. Chris Watts says his home camera shows him leaving for work at 5:15, like usual that morning. Chris Watts tells me that his home alarm system notified him that at 9:10 his garage door opened, but that he never received a notification on his phone that it closed again. I asked him if his garage was open when he got home from work that day, and he told me no. I asked Chris Watts if he thought that Shanann Watts left out the garage at 9:10 that morning. He suggested that she either left out the garage, you son of a bitch. She either left out the garage door or the back door because there's no footage of her leaving from his front door camera. I asked Chris Watts if there was any sign of forced entry, and he told me no. Okay. Now, this is NA, Nicole Atkinson. Okay? Y'all listen to this and tell me it's not weird as... Okay, I'll let y'all decide. Atkinson explained she was a CNA, certified nursing assistant, and worked at Mesa Vista Nursing Home in Boulder, Colorado. Atkinson stated she would be working until 6 o'clock a.m. and I could meet with her anytime during her shift. CBI agent Greg Zettner responded to Boulder to speak with Atkinson. Next, we requested Detective Baumhauer call Chris and ask him to respond to the Frederick Police Department for a follow-up interview. After reviewing the GPS data, I called Atkinson and asked if she could come to the police department for an interview. Atkinson seemed bothered and advised that she was getting ready to go to work. Atkinson then agreed to call her work and said she would drive to the Frederick Police Department to meet with me. A few minutes later, I got a call from Atkinson, who was extremely angry and asked me repeatedly if she was going to be charged with a crime if she came to the police department. I explained to Atkinson that we learned new information and we were just trying to find Shanann and her children. That's a weird response, right? Like, why people don't get arrested unless they commit a crime and break the law? Like, why are you so mad? First of all, what? I got so many questions about that. Sorry you're not feeling good, Lady Luck. Hope you feel better. Question mark? Okay. So this is the interaction with the whole mom, Shannon's mom calling the school before she had even known anything, before Chris even called the school. I don't want to get too much into it because it's weird. So I'll circle back. I'm just not going to touch on that one. Not today. I just, because I still don't, it doesn't feel right. And I don't want to, not trying to, anyways. Okay. No, go forward, you dingle ears. Anyways, so Amanda and Nick arrived back in Colorado from Kentucky at approximately 2:30 p.m. Amanda had a few messages from friends. Okay, Amanda and Nick are mutual friends to Chris and Shanann. They're also the ones that Chris stayed the night, not the first night, but the second night at, because he was freaked out about the house and didn't want to be in the house or whatever. Okay, so this is an interview of Amanda on the 15th of August, page 4 out of 7. So I highlighted this specific part for the next part after it, but she reads the detective a text message she gets from Shanann at 2:57 p.m. Okay. Hey lady, we just got back, or she sends this to Shanann. She says, hey lady, we just got back. Let's chat about this weekend. Amanda received a familiar auto reply from Shanann that she used whenever she was driving. Okay, that's really important. Y'all hold on to that. Okay. So safety first, I'm driving with do not disturb while driving turned on. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going. The last part of the auto reply had some extra wording Amanda hadn't seen before, which stated, I'm not receiving notifications. If this is urgent, reply urgent to send a notification through with your original message. Amanda sent one more message to Shanann asking when Shanann was getting back to Colorado, but received no response. Okay. The next thing is NA, that this is her Life 360 log for the time that I just spoke about that. And Amanda received that text from Shanann's phone, or I don't think it was her phone necessarily. I think somebody had her Apple Watch. But moving on. Okay, so NA is home. You can see where she's at that time. So she's crossed out. NK, okay, August 13th. Look what she's doing. At 2:28 p.m., she has a incoming call, and then at 2:35 she has an incoming call. Okay, at 3:32, which she says she leaves work at 3, and she gets a, I don't know if it's ingoing or outgoing because it doesn't say, but that's leave Jim alone. Okay, and that would mean that from, if you look at the distances from Platteville, that's where the main office is, to Brighton. Okay, she's clearly driving from 2:30 to 3:30. So maybe she had the watch. This is just speculation, can't prove it, just saying. TM, that's Troy. Okay, you have the geotab from his truck, which is in the Discovery, on August the 13th at 1:59 p.m. To 2:39 p.m. The truck's on. He's driving, okay? And then he's driving at 2:43 p.m. for 15 minutes, 38 seconds. So both of them were both driving at the time. So it could have been either or at this point. And it could have been either. It is what it is. It wasn't Shanann. We know that. And where did the watch end up when the police found it? Where'd the phone end up? Okay, Anadarko has approximately 400 cameras in service, of which approximately 200 are located in the parking lot and vicinity immediately around Anadarko's Platteville office. The remaining cameras are in place at major batteries. Anadarko has had issues with individuals entering oil production sites and committing lewd and or destructive acts to Anadarko, so Anadarko placed a small number of game cameras at some sites, perhaps 5 to 10. These cameras are not serviced, and there's not a freaking single video or photo of Nicole leaving, and just nothing. 400 cameras and y'all couldn't get one. Okay, I digress. So this is 2 p.m. Troy receives a call from the cop while at Survey 19. Isn't that weird? Okay. Look at NK's call log on the 14th. Nicole Atkinson's statements regarding the purse. What? Well, we found her purse. So then after we saw the video, we go back in the house and I found her purse right inside the door of her office. And I had went in her office several times. It was like tucked right there by the door. I just walked past it. Was it behind the door? No, it was like right next to the door. Like the door was open and then on the opposite side, it was just sitting there inside the door. Okay, so did it appear like somebody was trying to hide it, or it was just kind of... Chris Watts' statements regarding the purse. Okay, that could have helped her. So we talked about her decompressing a few times. Would she do that? She would have to go to a friend's house to do that. She wouldn't just go anywhere, not with the kids. A hotel? I've checked, and if she had any cash on her, I'm not sure like how much she would have on her. She doesn't really carry much cash, okay? And the cash she had in her wallet was from Nicole the previous day. From who? From Nicole. Oh, okay. She told me that she got it from her friend Nicole. So I went and found her purse. For what? I'm not sure. She didn't tell me, okay? But that was all the cash she had in her wallet, and it was still in the house, she said? Yeah, okay. So is her license in the wallet? Yeah. So there's no cash that we know of, no license, no phone. Anything about the clothes in her closet, hamper, the drawers that make you think she packed some boots, she's going on to the mountains. Like, she's got so many clothes in that closet, it's like it's hard to really tell if anything is missing with that amount. Coonrod statement. When Nicole asked where Shanann's phone was, Christopher went to the couch upstairs and found it between the cushions. He did not know what the password was to Shanann's phone. Nicole knew it because it was possibly the date of birth of their unborn son and turned it on, and Christopher gave consent to look at her phone. No calls were made that morning. I contacted Detective Baumhauer and requested he come to the residence. Well, we clearly see on the body cam footage that's not the case. Nick, Nicole's son, finds the phone in a very weird, odd, freaking suspicious way. I'm just saying. Okay, so now we have Nicole Atkinson's statement. All of the bedding was, and I don't know if all of the bedding, but the bedding was all over in the corners of the bed, and I didn't touch it. I didn't go through it. I don't know like if the sheets were missing or anything like that, but all of the bedding was stripped off the bed, which I thought was weird. And when the police officer had asked if she had her phone on her, and we didn't know at that point, and then like 5 minutes later, my son was like rummaging through the pillows on the sofa, and he found her phone shoved down in the cushions on the sofa. Why are you lying, Coonrod? Nick's statement. Once inside, they all went upstairs where Nick, felt like something wasn't right and began moving the pillows located on the couch at the top of the stairs. It was then he found Shanann's phone under the pillows. I asked Nick what drove him to the couch. He said the couch would be like the place he would hide something. Nick said he was going to look under the couch, under the beds, and in Bella and Cece's rooms, but the couch was the closest thing to him. I asked Nick to draw the couch and the location of Shanann's phone in relation to the couch. Nick explained what he was drawing. Nicholas, and there's the room, the couch right there, like, and it's on the first little cushion pillow, like, and literally, I mean, as soon as he sat down, he just ran his fingers in. First of all, why are you just digging through people's couch cushions, you little weirdo? I'm just saying.
You do it.
Like, were you looking for Shanann and the girls in the couch cushions?
Nobody's looking for clues.
What the fuck? It's just suspicious. Okay, Chris Watts' statement. I would think, okay, and then Nikki finds her phone on the couch. And why did she find her phone on the couch? What's he looking for there? Oh, Nick, sorry, not Nikki. I don't know. He was looking for clues. Just okay. Was looking around too, and he just happened to like run across like right there on the couch, and okay, right on the cushion. So he found it. It's not as though you're calling him to find it. He just found it. Okay. Shanann would. Okay, so approximately 4:30 a.m. I was contacted directly by the PD. At the PD by Shanann's mother. Oh yeah, I don't. She said that she wanted me to check the GPS of Chris's work truck because she suspected foul play was involved. She stated that Christopher is acting weird and out of the ordinary. She stated that Christopher is telling people he has to go to work, and that just doesn't seem right. She felt that he was going out to pour the bodies. Pour oil on the bodies to dispose of them somewhere. Rusek said that she felt when Shanann had come home late from her trip that she had been exhausted and that she and Christopher had argued, but due to Shanann being tired, she didn't put up a fight. What the hell? Like, are you there? What? Okay, this is Tinder profile, which I don't think I believe. I'm not going to get too much into that. Okay, so. This is a live or a line at the Frederick Police Department playing phone tag with Chris Watts the very first night his family's missing. So like to try to get descriptive information and stuff about. They hadn't even put the missing or what's it called, Amber Alert out yet. I don't think they did, but anyways, I'm gonna play it.
This is Chris.
Hey, Chris, it's Officer James, Frederick PD.
How's it going?
Good. I was just calling to see if you had heard anything.
I haven't heard anything at all, sir.
Okay. Had you talked to the friends after we left some more?
Yeah, I've called the hospitals, and I had a couple friends stop by as well, and nobody's heard anything. They've even reached out to some people that I didn't know. So.
Okay. Do you have any contact info for some friends that you talked to on the phone? That way, do you have any suspicions at all where she'd be?
I honestly don't have any, inkling of where she would be unless somebody is just not telling me if we called them.
Okay. Do you have some people that I can call and let them know that we're looking for them, and if they don't necessarily want to tell you some stuff, that we would like to know where she's at? You know what I'm trying to say? That maybe they're afraid to tell you some stuff, but they'd tell it to us.
Yeah. So, let me look here. So, do you have Addie Maloney's number?
No. Go ahead with that. Okay.
Yeah, Sam Paisley's number.
Just go ahead and give them all to me.
Okay, so Sam Paisley,
Okay.
look through some text messages. Christina Meacham.
Okay. Any others?
Okay. I'm looking right through my text messages. Jeremy Lindstrom.
You can hear Dater. He's back there. He's still so shocked.
That's about all the new ones that I know you probably didn't have.
What?
I've heard from tonight.
When I was over there, we didn't ask what kind of marital problems are you guys having? Why are you guys wanting to separate?
Mainly because, like, when we were apart for, she was in North Carolina for 5 weeks.
Is that North Carolina?
It just felt like, yeah, she went to North Carolina for 5 weeks, and
Okay.
I went down there for the last week, so 6 weeks altogether. And it was mainly just a disconnect. Like, we just fell out of love with each other. It was like once we got back, like once we were together again on that last week, it just never felt the same. And we talked about it while we were there, and it just felt that disconnect, and I just didn't feel like we were in love anymore.
Okay. Had you had any marital problems before that?
Not really. I mean, the main thing is, like, I could never really be myself, and, like, I felt like, you know, I could never just be who I was, like, before I met her, like, and she could never see me, and I feel like I'm just talking to, like, a psychiatrist about this right now, but, like, it was, we just had that disconnect. Like, once I saw her again, it was just like, no, it wasn't there anymore.
Okay. And it's going to be a hard question to answer, but is she seeing anyone else that you're aware of?
I mean, I'm not going to say no, because, I mean, it's totally possible.
Okay. Are you seeing anyone else that she isn't aware of?
No, I have not done that.
Okay. Well, are you going to work tomorrow?
I called my boss and told him that, you know, I'll come in early just to see what's going on, and, like, if my head's not there, like, he said he'd give me some, like, office stuff to do, and then I can just roll out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna I didn't know what you wanted me to do.
Yeah. So
right now it's hard to be in this house right now.
Right. If you hear anything, I want you to call us right away.
Oh, definitely. You guys, like, yeah, speed dial.
Yep. So I want you to call us right away, and that's that number that I underlined on your card there to the dispatch, because we may not always be in the office, but call that dispatch number right away, and then you can reach an officer 24/7 there.
Okay.
And then we'll most likely be in contact with you first thing in the morning if we don't hear anything from you tonight.
Okay.
To try and start backtracking some stuff, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
him. Okay, let me just come on. This Officer Goodman, is this Christopher? Hung up on me again. Hello, Christopher? Christopher. Yeah. It's Officer Good. Yeah. Just going to keep it recording so in case he calls back and I get him. Hello, Christopher. This is Officer Goodman, Frederick Police Department. Are you there? Hello? That's the number you called and it went right through last time you had contact with him? 910-309-1702. That's what's coming in. They don't have a house phone? That's a different number now. This is Officer Goodman, Frederick Police Department.
Hey, this is Chris Watts. I was trying to call you back from my personal phone. Kept saying call failed, but I just used my work phone.
Oh, this is your work phone? Okay. So, we're just trying to get some of your wife and kids' information entered in to put some alerts out there. And I just need to get some information about the kids. Do you know how, on Bella, do you know her height, weight, hair color, and eyes?
So, height would be 42 inches.
Okay.
Weight would be 40 pounds.
Okay.
Hair color would be brown.
All right.
Eye color would be brown as well.
Okay, does she have any scars, marks, tattoos?
No.
Okay, and then on Celeste, same thing.
So she is 37 inches tall.
Okay.
She is 37 pounds.
Okay.
Blonde hair.
Eyes.
Hazel eyes.
Hazel. Okay, and again, no scars, marks, tattoos?
No.
Okay. Okay, we're just going to get that information out. And we're just going to keep... Oh, does Shannon have any scars, marks, or tattoos?
She has the scar on her forehead only pops out every once in a while. It's from that car wreck she had a long, long time ago, but no tattoos.
Okay. Is it really a visible scar or no?
No, it's just like only when only if she's like really heated.
Okay.
She's like outside running around a lot.
Okay. So it's like when there's a lot of sun.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is that on her forehead? Left, middle?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle forehead. It's like right, like kind of like it runs like right in the middle, like just above the bridge of the nose, and it runs down, just like where the glass stuff went into her forehead from that car accident.
Now, when you say goes down towards her
like
mouth?
It goes up and down, so side to side.
Okay.
Like you have to really look for it, but like it's there. Like if she's like outside running around, it just kind of comes through.
Okay. So since the other officers have talked to you, has anything else come to mind that you can think of to help us try to figure out what's going on, where she is?
Nothing's come across. Just a bunch of text messages from a lot of friends just reaching out to me, just seeing like if they could help or whatnot, but nothing new.
Okay. Can't think of any other names or anything that come to mind that we could call.
No new names right now. Everybody else, it's just been like consistently from the same people just reaching out to me.
Okay.
A lot of phone calls from North Carolina, but people I haven't heard from in a long time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you hear something, obviously, let us know as soon as you can, and if you can think of anything, if anything, you think of that might help us locate her, just let us know. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.